On today's video, I want to give you an update on renting and buying real estate here in the Dominican Republic. And I'm doing this video because I had a few questions lately asking me about the process either renting or buying. And I already did a video talking about this before, but it was a while ago. I guess the people are not searching on those old videos. So I just want to give you an update anyways, talking about both process. So let's get started. So let's start first with the process of renting. And to rent here in Dominican Republic is not that difficult. It is just certain things that are different to other places, and sometimes that can be challenging. So let's say, what is the most common? Because I know that a lot of people ask, oh, can I rent an apartment for a short time, like 2 months, 1 month? And the answer is no. We don't have, that is not very common in here for people to allow you to rent their property for 1 or 2 months. Even if it is furnished, they don't want that. They are looking, the most common thing is for a year lease. Now, you will find people that let you rent the places for 6 months, and I think that is the shortest that they will do with a contract for 6 months. But the normal is 1 year. Now, if you have the question, what is my best option if I just want to rent for 1 month or 2 months because I'm looking into know the country or whatever reason that you may have, or for work, whatever, your best option is Airbnb. And I know it's not convenient Airbnb because when you put 2 months in an Airbnb, it's gonna be a lot of money. I understand that part. Or I will give you a suggestion. A lot of the Airbnb properties that Dominicans has on the Airbnb platform, some of them, when they own the property, they also have it in places like Corotos. And that is a website where we sell a lot of things. So they put those ads also in Coroto. And I will give you a suggestion, like your best bet is to contact one of the people that have the property in Corotos. You just try to negotiate that you want to rent for 2 months or for a month, just to see if they can give you a better price than going directly to Airbnb. But that will be your best option, at least that I know. If you know any other option, any of you up there, just let me know. But that is the best option for short term. So remember, a year is the normal. 6 months, you will find people that allow you to do 6 months. Now, what are the requirements that most people ask here to rent? And I know that you probably are used or you have heard like the term 2+1. And what does this mean? 2+1 means that you're gonna pay 2 deposit, and that one you are gonna lose it. And that one they use it for the person that is helping the owner to rent the place. They take the fee out of there, and also for the contract with the lawyer and all that. So they take all the fees out of that one, and you keep the 2 as a deposit. Just to clarify, the +1 is pretty much like the finder fee. That is the fee that the owner paid the person that helped them to find a client for the property. And that is the most common way where people rent over here. Now, there is another way that now we have rent like furniture places, and in some areas where you rent in dollars, they have another way, which is 2 deposit plus the first month up front. And in that way, they will charge you an extra just to pay the contract that the lawyer had to make. In that case, the price sometimes vary, but the most common thing is $100 that they charge you just for the contract. It can be more sometimes, because I have found places for clients and sometimes they charge me $2 just to make the contract, but they will keep the 2 deposit and they will pay the first month up front. So you pay your rent up front before you move in. And it's another way that people are renting now. Yeah, I'm just clarifying these 2 ways because I know that sometimes people can be confused, and a lot of times they think that they be a scam, that they're trying to steal from them, and they don't know how that works that way. This is a 2-way. The most common way is the 2+1. That is been here forever. Dominicans, we all paid that before. We all have paid the 2+1, but we know they will lose one. So that didn't start with you all for foreigners to come over here. So that is no scam. That is just the way that we do business over here. And the other way, that is the new way they started a while ago, based on that we are now renting in dollars, and we're renting in tourist area, and we're renting in furnished places. Like, for example, when we rent our apartment here, we just pay the deposit and the month rent, and then we pay extra $75 just for the contract and all those legality forms. But we didn't pay the plus one, and that's when I say most of the time in either in those areas where you pay rent in dollars and in tourist areas, sometimes they don't do the plus one. They try other ways, but you will have to pay a fee just for the lawyers and the legality and the form and all that. So what are the requirements for you to rent a place here in the Dominican Republic? First, they're gonna ask you to fill out a form that they have, and the form will have like your job information, how much money you make, and things like that, like information from you and your job. They're gonna require a ID or two forms of ID, and they're gonna also ask for a co-signer, and that is the challenging part. And most of the time for foreigners, because when foreigners are renting, they want to have somebody that live here that is responsible unless there's something happen. So in that case, they're going to ask you for a co-signer. That was the part that I was saying that is a little different and challenging, because a lot of people I know, they don't know or they don't know any friends or somebody that will co-sign for them here in the Dominican Republic. But you can also find some people that they don't require for you to have a co-signer. And I have seen cases where people rent an Airbnb and they keep renting the same Airbnb every time they come. So they develop a relationship with the owner or the person that is managing the Airbnb. And in that case, they let them rent for a long term without all the legality and paperwork that you have to do. So that's it for the process of renting. And I know if you have any questions, you're gonna ask me, put in a message down here, or you're gonna send me an email. So now let's move on to the process of buying. And buying here is very easy. You know what you need? Just the money, that's all. Yeah. I just wanna make a joke. No, but the process here to buy real estate is very easy. The first thing that I have to say, like, I know that people ask this question very often, if as a foreigner, can I buy property or can I buy real estate in Dominican Republic? And the answer is yes, you can. It's no restriction by the law to say that a foreigner cannot buy. Even if you are not a resident or you are not a citizen of Dominican Republic, you can still buy real estate here, which is a positive thing for a lot of people that want to invest in the country. Now, what are the requirements and what do you need to do if you want to buy a real estate? And the first thing that I'm gonna advise you if you gonna buy real estate, it is, especially if you're gonna buy it cash or out of pocket, it is to get a lawyer or somebody that can do the due diligence for you to buy real estate here in Dominican Republic. Because a lot of things that you need to do due diligence and research for you. If you don't know the language and things like that, you don't know where to go, it's gonna be a little, well, I would say a little difficult, because if you don't know where you're going and what you have to do, it can be difficult, but it's easy. It's just if you don't know the country, if you don't know the language, it can be a little headache. So I suggest anybody that's gonna buy a real estate here in Dominican Republic, they get a lawyer or get somebody to help you with the process. So now let's talk about if you are buying, if you have all the cash, if you are looking for a property because you wanna buy. The first thing, like I say, is to find somebody to either help you or a lawyer. They can help you with the process, because there are, even if you find the properties that you like, after you search, you need to do the due diligence to figure out if that property it is owned by the person that is selling the property, if the property don't own any taxes, or if you don't have any legal problems. And with that, you need to have somebody to help you to find out all that. And after that, after you find out that the property is clear, the only thing that you have is need to have the money to pay for the property. After you have your contract, you pay for what you buy, then it is another process of transferring that property to your name. That is another process that you will need some documents from the owner for you to be able to transfer that property to your name. And also that will be somebody they know what they're doing to help you with that. And that the processing of transferring to your name, it is take about 45 days most of the time. If it's not any problem, everything is clear, everything is paid, you have the contract or the final contract of sale, you have the IDs of the owner, you have the original title of the property, and also with you form of ID, then in a document in some taxes that you have to pay and all that. Then you take that information to the title department, and that is when they make the process. Now, what fees do you usually have to pay when you buy a property? It is the main tax that you have to pay is 3% of the price of the property. It is one of the taxes, and it's the biggest taxes that you have to pay before you transfer it. So it will be that tax and another 2 other taxes, but they are very small. And then with those taxes and the document that I just mentioned, that is when you are able to go and take the paperwork over there and start the process of transferring. It's not very difficult, that part, when you buy in that way. It is very simple, but like I say, you need somebody to help you through this process, either a lawyer or somebody that knows the process. And another way that people usually buy properties here in the Dominican Republic, which is the most common, is pre-construction. All the apartments that you see here or projects that you see they being built here in the Dominican Republic, those projects of construction it had been pre-sold prior they started. And I was told, because I asked not a real estate agent, but a person that work with construction, they don't start building that unit until at least they have 80% of the units sold out. Now, before I forget, most of the time when you see the construction of the building probably halfway done or almost done, it will be really that they have any unit left. Sometimes they don't have any, and if they have some left, it will be the most expensive unit because they be pre-selling, and people normally buy the most that are more, the cheapest one. Because a lot of time people do it for investment opportunity, and the less you spend, the best. But it's just to let you know that most of the time when you see a building that is almost about to be done, most of the time they already also allow, and if they have a few units left, then it will be the most expensive one. Before you start, even if you're buying for a company that is doing a construction and building construction, try to find out information about that company before you pay any money. If everything is legal, all the requirements, is this a requirement that you have to investigate before you invest your money in any construction, because you never know. And after that, after you do your due diligence, your investigation, that's why you need to hire somebody to do that. And then the things they're gonna ask you most of the time what they're gonna ask you is put something down to separate the unit. Then they give you 30 days to complete at least 10%. And then they will allow you to pay the down payment, which is most of the time 20 or 30% during the top of the construction. And then when they finish the construction, you have to pay the remaining of the property if you want to pay it out of your pocket, or you can finance it through a bank or any financial institution. And with this form of buying real estate, they do, depending on the company, they split the payment in different ways. So not everybody have the same way of payment. Let's say some people ask for a down payment of 30% of the entire project. Some people ask for 20%, some other people do 50 and then 50 at the end. So it's gonna depend on who is building the project as how much you have to do in down payment. And another thing that people ask a lot, and it is if we know, or if we do something that is called rent to own, and that is something that we don't do. People over here haven't learned that form of selling over here is rent to own, or doing doing like something that I saw in the United States a lot. It was that people contacted directly the owner and a contract where you probably deal directly with the owner. Buying directly with the owner, you make the payment to the owner, even though if they put like a down payment or anything like that, that is something that people don't do here either. So everything that even if you talk directly with the owner you're trying to buy, you will have to do a down payment. You go to a financial institution or a bank to finance the rent. the rest, but they will not finance it directly to you. So guys, this is all what I have for right now. I wanted to do this update on renting and buying because I have a lot of people lately asking me about the process, and since I did the other video a while ago, so here is a new update. So if you have any questions, please leave it down below, or you can send me an email. Bye.